Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's go. Kevin here, top 1 financial advisor and best-selling author. We are here to talk about the stock market. Today, I get to say one of my favorite phrases that I had not been able to say in quite a while. And my phrase is, I be telling y'all. And I say that I be telling y'all because the stock market hit a 3-month high. And what most people try to do is to buy low, sell high, buy at the bottom of the stock market. Now, when you take a look at the chart, what do you see here? What do you see? You see the stock market pretty much bottomed out on June 17th, 3 months ago. Well, actually 2 months ago, but y'all get the point, right? That's when the stock market bottomed. And what do you think that I did on the day that the stock market bottomed? This is what I did. These are my trades from June 17th on public, which just so happened to be a Friday. So I got, a little bit of luck and a lot of skill and a lot, way more of a process, because I have a process to what I do. And I be telling y'all that dollar cost averaging does work. And inside of the members only, I specifically put out videos every now and then and say, look, here are the stocks that I am buying and why, and show them on my chart why it was those, what was it, like 4 stocks, why on that day, why there was 4, those particular 4. It wasn't every single company that I bought. I sit there, I look at the chart and say, look, I'm going to invest in something this coming Friday. What is it going to be? On that day was Microsoft and Danaher and others. And that is one way why when we talk about how a stock can perform just in general, like Target last 6 months does X, Y, and Z, but I can also invest in Target and get a completely different number. Usually for the better, sometimes sometimes worse, because depending on when you decide dollar cost average, depending on how that stock is performing, your numbers can be different. So I just had to get out there and say that. However, the question is, what's going to happen next? Why is the stock market rising? What does this mean for the rest of the year? So on and so forth. So one, this year has taught us a lot already, that it is relatively unpredictable. The stock market is almost always unpredictable, but there were certain things that, with Russia and Ukraine we didn't see. There were some things with inflation that we didn't see that have started to improve. So inflation is the biggest reason as to why, because we had an inflation report today that was pretty good. They say, look, inflation didn't really move, and in fact, it came down in some ways. We had 9.1% last year, and now we're like 8.6 or something like that. So these interest rate hikes are working. I also said, and I said this like 3, almost 4 weeks ago, that gas prices were falling. Y'all remember I did tell y'all that. In fact, I will put the screenshot here. I did a short entire video. I did a whole bunch of stuff talking about what inflation was and why it should be coming down. And it did. Now, this is primarily due to gas prices falling. There are a lot of reasons as to why that happened. I had some random comment that said that gas prices don't figure into inflation, which is weird because that's just a fact you can just easily Google. But aside from that, gas prices have been the biggest impact as to why overall inflation is heading down. Now, that is not the only thing out there. It's not an inflation video, but like food prices were still up. There are other areas of the economy that are still quite high. 8.6% or whatever the number was today is still too high. So things are going to progressively come down. It doesn't mean that it's going to fall in a straight line either. You can see it stall out and then continue to fall. You can see even rise in some cases as well, because gas prices can do wild things at wild times. So inflation is a part of it, but also earnings. We are almost done with the big earnings season for Q2 of 2022. Disney announced today. I'm not going to get into that. We can do a totally separate video for Disney and a totally separate video for the inflation numbers. But aside from that, like Disney reported strong earnings. The company was up 6% after the market closed, which is again saying that, as much as we've gone through, as much as we've talked about the recession, things might be turning around a little bit, and unless your name is Nvidia or Coinbase, then your earnings are pretty solid. I put out the stat last week about half of the companies that have reported, more than anywhere between 60 and 70% of them were positive, which says that, hey, I know by definition we may be in a recession, but people are still spending. Most, not all companies are doing well financially. maybe this was a little overblown. Perhaps it was a little bit more emotional, and the stock market perhaps overreacted. And this 3-month high is a signal of that, and things are starting to come back around. Now, I am not somebody that's going to get up here and say, to the moon, and that the stock market is just going to continue to go up for forever and ever, or even that we'll end the year on a positive note. I would hope to. I would definitely want more Julys, because July had done so well, to happen between now and the end of the year, and we end 2022 on a good stock market note. That would be amazing. Would help us all, right? But I'm not going to get out there and say it, because I didn't expect the market to be down the way it is anyway. So in either case, the process is the process. You can come up with your own process. You are more than willing to do that. Now, it took me 8-9 years to figure out what mine was, and to stick to it, and to do it long enough to prove that it works. And we talk a lot about this inside the members only group, but the process is to invest on a consistent basis. I have a process in what companies I choose to invest in, and again, I pick and choose at what spots do I want to buy more shares of X company. I do it every single week on public. I do it with my 401k, that's bi-weekly. I do it with my Roth IRA and all of my accounts on a regular basis. And again, it does work if you do it for long enough. I also had a commenter about a month ago say, hey, I just started investing in November, and this is again a month ago, so we're talking about July, which ironically enough was the best month for the stock market since November of 2020. But they said this is the worst administration ever, it's the worst stock market ever. I just started investing in November of 2021, and this is terrible. Like, you haven't invested for a year yet. I have no idea what you're investing in. If you invest in something like Coinbase, a video that we have covered, I'll put that here, a video we covered, and say, look, I don't think this is a good investing move. I just don't like the business structure. It doesn't really make sense. So if you invest in something like that, and you've been doing so since November, 1, it's still really early. 2, that was probably a bad idea to start with. Perhaps they should have subscribed, but hit the like and subscribe button, and perhaps they would have been warned about such an investment. So just throwing it out there. It's one of those days. I'll be telling y'all, if you have been with me for a while, you know that it takes time for the market to grow, for things to shake out. And if you panicked, you did not get paid in July. If you panicked, you did not get paid today. You missed the boat, which is why I'm so adamant about not panicking and withdrawing everything just because the market is bad. There are other reasons to withdraw. Maybe you have a tax bill to pay, or a company to buy, like Elon Musk. He sold several $1 billion of Tesla. Well, we can talk about that again in a separate video. So many things came out today. But aside from that, stay the course. This is a long-term investing thing. It can work, but you have got to be patient with it and have a system. Have a system. I think that's the most important thing that I can tell you on a day like today. I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I have some investments that I shut down, Adobe being one of those. But in either case, the thing is, be right more often than you're wrong. Have a process and a system in which you can make decisions and make those decisions easier. That is the key. I am never confused when I decide, like, hey, I need to buy more of this stock. I'm never confused when I need to sell something, because it happens on a date. The next time that you see me sell a stock and that we talk about me selling something is going to be in December. And that's my process. You can have your own. That's what's worked for me, and that's what worked for the majority of my clients when I was a financial advisor. I've got studies and books that also confirm that a process works and that my process is well researched. So I'm just throwing it out there. I do be telling y'all, thank y'all for watching and subscribing, doing all those things. Make sure that you join the members only, because like I said, every now and then I'll drop a video saying, look, this is what I'm seeing in the stock market, these are the companies I'm getting. And that's not to say that you should also buy these companies, but it is to say, use that technique, use that process, and apply it to your own portfolio, so you can decide when you want to buy certain companies based on your own schedule. So we'll probably do that this week. I also have a Q&A that I want to address for our members as well. All right. That is it for me today. I'll see y'all tomorrow, and let me know what it is y'all want me to cover, because again, we've got Elon Musk selling, I think it was $6 or $7 billion of Tesla. I can look up the exact number here in a minute, but we had Elon Musk, we had Disney earnings, We got inflation. There's a lot of stuff that happened this week. We also have that, it was like $80 billion. That was the CHIPS bill. There's another bill that passed that has to deal with stock buybacks and taxing companies for doing stock buybacks, which to me is very interesting. And I think it's probably the right thing to do, but it's just interesting how that can impact the stock market and what companies that impacts as well. So you let me know in the comments right now. First, click the subscribe button. That's number one. Number two, is there a topic you want me to address? Make sure you put that in the comments. I'll add it to the list. I've got several topics that we need to discuss. And then three, if you are not in the members only, hit that join button right now. All right, that's it for me. I'll talk to you later. Bye.